And welcome back to the Real Teachers of Atlanta. I am Ty.
I'm Joya.
And I'm Ralph.
We have Mr. Coleman
Woo-woo!
sitting in with us today as our guest. And today we are going to be talking about teacher pets.
Teacher pets.
Let's get to it.
Let's get into it.
Teacher pets.
We got the queens in the house, y'all. Real teachers of Atlanta.
I am Mrs. P. Smith, the Mama Bear at school, your favorite ELA and SPED teacher, but always teaching my students about business.
I'm Miss Rose, commonly known as the snarky teacher, always ready with the good candy. The kids say I'm their favorite math teacher.
After school, it's lights, camera, action. During school hours, it's Miss Carter, the life science teacher saving lives.
We got the queens in the house, y'all. Real teachers of Atlanta.
As the teacher pets, or are they petting the teacher?
Oh, wait.
We're talking about teacher
Teacher
pets.
pets.
Okay, all right.
So
Two shoes.
every teacher, I believe, has a favorite student. I have had some, and I'm still in contact with them.
I have some students I'm still in contact with as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Same here. I never really saw them as my pet in the classroom because I've always been the type to try to treat them all the same.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but you do have those ones that are really on top of that stuff. You know, you kind of want to deal with them a little bit more than the others because the others are kind of like a little rowdy or hanging out or whatever. But then you got one that just really on their game. So you kind of gravitate them more because you know that whatever you need to get done in the classroom is going to get done.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And the reason why we're talking about this because it was pointed out by one of our followers that I think teachers, because there is so much bad behavior in the classroom that a lot of times these students get overlooked. And I think it has been happening as of late that you have so much bad behavior that we really don't acknowledge these good behaviors like we should.
Mm-hmm.
And just looking back, I've had some really good students that really did what they were supposed to do, come to class, have their supplies, have their homework, ready to, actually know what you taught about on the previous day, and they're ready to go.
Yeah, I've had, it's funny, the kids that I still stay in contact with, they weren't necessarily the greatest students.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I had one student, when I first met her, she was just disconnected. She would draw a lot on her arm, make her little tattoos or whatever. She was on her phone, but eventually, she joined the basketball team and, she became, one of the students that I stayed in contact with. And I think that was due to the relationship that I had with her, and telling her, hey, you need to make sure you do your work. Stop cutting class, why are you doing this type of thing? And a lot of teachers just either don't have the time to really connect with certain students or the energy to do it. So it really takes a special teacher to really get that kid who's just not interested in school at all, to really get them over to being a high achiever and having goals, I think.
I think something I noticed in the classroom, like, my good kids that I had in the classroom, okay, yeah, they were good. They had good behavior and everything. But I noticed as they got older, because, I watch social media a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And when I see them now, it's like now they're the one that's out there showing their bodies all the time, twerking, doing all this other stuff that they never represented in the classroom. But then the ones that always gave me problems in the classroom, those are the ones that's kind of like living more of a humble life now. Trying to better themselves. Now, I talked to a student not too long ago, and she upset me because she called one time and tried to borrow some money from me, and I loaned her some money because to help her out with, because she had a kid and everything. And I said, you go and get your kids some diapers, whatever you need to get done. All right, so then she posted on Facebook, oh, I'm doing it big now, and I got this new house and everything and all that there, and and I'm doing this all that now. I'm like, oh, You doing it like that, you know?
Right.
So I'm like looking at, okay, I guess my little money ain't matter then, so I ain't gonna worry about sending no more money out there and then help you out no more.
Well, that's social media clout.
Right. But the thing that I'm looking at, if you got to borrow money to get into something, why even think you're gonna even make the payments on every month?
Yeah.
And that was one of the ones that was like one of my better students in the classroom. Never had a problem out of it. Was always good all the time. But then as you got older, you become this other person now.
So why do you think that happens?
I don't know. I think, I had a cousin like that was sheltered like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she hit college,
It just went wild.
gone.
Mm.
You know, so I don't know if it's better to just to let them get out more while they're younger, or keep them, or just take them out and do things with them so they can experience the world a little bit. But I just think most kids just want to get out there because they feel peer pressure by others, that they're dealing with. But even the students in the classroom that you call pets, I don't know. In my case, those are the ones that I seen just end up being different.
I don't know. I think, I get what you're saying, and I do understand that it can be a case of being sheltered. But one of my best students, one of my favorite students to this day, very smart girl. And there was a lot of them in that class that did what they were supposed to do, but she was the one person that did everything exactly how I needed it to be done. Like, she was the person that made my life as a teacher. Oh my God, like, amazing. And now, not to say that she didn't do things, but she got her grades. She was responsible. She was very mature for her age. She knew the songs when the Miami Girls.
City Girls.
Yeah, when the City Girls came out, they knew the words, every word to the song. What you know about the City Girls? But but they handled their business. And I think there's a difference with knowing these lyrics to the songs, but don't get in class and can't handle your business. And I'm not saying they up on social media, twerking and doing stuff that they're not supposed to be doing. Like, they were kids. They was, playing back a song that they heard. But I had a parent that reported to my principal that their child didn't get a chance to do these things. So apparently, I guess the child went back and told their parent that I wasn't allowing them to go to the office or help me with things that I needed to be helped with in the classroom. I was always asking this person, and they were right. I did. So I did try to have their student to do it, do something for me, but they ain't do it right. So I had to go back to my teacher's pet because she handled business. And so your child just wasn't ready to might sound bad, but she just wasn't ready. I think teachers do have pets. Like I said, I know I've had some.
As a teacher, it's kind of like having a child. You all have children. Well, you have one, Ty, but you don't want to ever make it seem like you favor one child over the other.
Yeah, that was my thing.
Yeah, and so when kids ask me, "Oh my God, Miss Carter, who's your favorite student?" I'm like, I love all of you all. Because I never want them to feel like I'm favoring one child over the other. Now, were there are some students that I would prefer that would stay home? Yes, sometimes.
I had a lot of them.
Yeah, every teacher does.
I come in class as soon as I see him. Damn.
But we don't want to ever make a child feel like they're not wanted or feel like we're, liking a student more than the other one. So we have to kind of create those boundaries. But, there are certain students I would send to the office.
Because they're coming back.
And they're coming right. They're not going to play around in the hallway.
They ain't going making trip to to see little Susie in the bathroom.
Or meeting up with their little boyfriend
or going
they go to the office.
Or going to hit a vape.
Hit a who? A vape? Mm.
They come on and do what you ask them to do and come on right back. And it's not that we don't love. We love every student, but let's
Yes,
just keep
we
it
do.
funky.
Yeah.
Well, the ones I had, all I smelled was marijuana.
Mirror what?
Marijuana.
Okay.
Oh my God.
That's all I smelled. That was on the classroom when I was dealing with my pet. So, I mean, but at least most of them were calm anyway. I'd be like, hey, what's up, Mrs. Coleman?
Oh my
And
goodness.
a teacher's pet is trying to push it, move from it.
Okay.
And a teacher's pet is not that student that does the right thing all the time. There have been students that other teachers have labeled bad. They didn't want to be bothered with them. They were
Your pet.
Well, they were at one way.
No, you saying that your pet in the classroom, and when they go to other teachers'
Right.
classroom,
Right.
they're labeled bad.
right.
But then what happens is that you're the one who have to come over there and rescue that student.
That's yeah.
That's what ends up happening.
I've done that.
Mm-hmm.
And some teachers don't like that. They take offense at that because they feel like, I don't want Miss Brown on here. I don't want you messing with my kids. Someone feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Then guess what? Now you the target now.
Well, it's the relationship. They so big on building relationships, but some relationships just come really natural.
Mm-hmm.
It's not forced. Some kids know when you just genuinely don't care for them.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what makes a kid act a certain way. Maybe because they know you don't care for them, they trip out in the next class. But like I was going back to my point, that kid, that teacher pet doesn't have to look like the kid that always does the right things or what you ask them to do. Because, I've said before that bad and disrespectful to me is two different things. I would deal with a bad kid now before I deal with a disrespectful kid because a lot of bad kids are they're smart kids.
Mm-hmm.
You just haven't built that relationship with them.
Disrespect got me fired.
Yes, it did.
Oh, yes, it did.
But you had
did.
great relationships with your students.
You did.
I mean, you were doing a humanitarian thing. You didn't want anybody to know about it. I think we've all bought kids clothes and food for them.
and take
for their-
them to
Boy,
games.
I
Yes.
used to
Go
go out there, man,
support
drop that
them.
stuff off and run from their doorstep because I
Right.
did not. I don't want to. Oh my God! Thank you. I don't know. I don't want all that.
And after you left,
make sure you're okay.
a lot of kids were asking, "Where is Mr.
Every
Coleman?"
single day.
Yeah. Well, they were calling. They were calling, crying.
Mm.
Like, why are you not coming back? And I didn't want to tell the kids that the kids don't need to know all that.
Right.
It's just that I'm burnt out. So and that was it for me. But I talk with them, and I actually still tutor some of them now. Still, yeah. I ain't trying to start no teacher academy now. I ain't doing.
That's
all
what I was
that.
going to ask if you were like, where can they contact you
Nah.
for math?
Yeah.
Because your teaching style is very unique.
Very.
But the kids, they get it.
It's on that trailer. They can see it. Yeah, my trailer. It has all
your line
the
company.
math formulas on it, so you just look at that and figure it out.
Well, let me ask you this, Mr. Coleman.
Uh-oh.
Do you think that you was a teacher's pet when you were in school?
Wow, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I was that bad child, boy.
Really?
I was always in the office. See, back in my day, we got paddlings.
They paddled.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Take us through a typical paddling
because
session.
we need to talk about that on
Oh, okay.
our
Okay.
next episode.
Okay, fast. Okay, cool.
But I would get to that in a little bit. But yeah, I wasn't your typical student. Now, one thing about it now, I mean, I was very smart. I didn't make bad grades.
Okay.
It's just that I couldn't be still. I wanted to be. I get antsy. I want to do stuff, and
They labeled that as bad.
yeah, I was labeled as a bad child. But I even did. I did the spelling bee in my school when I was in 2nd grade, and took 3rd place.
Wow.
And it was like I think it was like maybe 60 or 70 kids. And I took 3rd place.
That's
And
good.
my mama, my daddy, that was a big achievement.
Yeah.
Oh, my child took 3rd. I'm looking at him, man. Y'all ain't keep, I'm young now, but even right there, y'all ain't keep bragging about that. I just know how to spell. That's all. I just had a way with words, until I got away from it. I got around the wrong crowd, then all that, obviously and academically and all that went away. I'm like, in wood.
Ty, we're going to move on. Were you a teacher's pet?
I believe I was. Yes. I did have my time where I was What was that look for?
No, I'm just go ahead.
No, I had my time now. Like Mr. Coleman, I wasn't like a child that was fighting or anything, but I had my time. I was cutting up in school. I was, like the Jones on people, as the kids say now. But back then we called it cracking.
Yep.
So I was that child. I just can't believe I was that bad like that.
Oh,
but for the most part, the teachers,
Let me hear your best crack. What's your best crack?
I gotta be in that moment. Like it's, we talking about you. Ain't nothing made up. It's fresh.
It's fresh off the mind.
Fresh off the mind.
That's how we did back in the day. We used to come off the dome with them cracks all the time. I used to love doing that.
Me and one of my good friends. I ain't gonna say her name, but baby, we was a team.
Well, you all had.
Yeah, it was
a team.
Yeah.
See, my favorite one was
they called home on us.
My favorite one was like, your mama so ugly. When she jumped off the Empire State Building, the concrete broke before she hit it. That was my favorite one. He used to hit all the time.
Oh my God. Look at George.
He used to hit all the time. That was my go-to every time. I would save that one for the last. You know how you have all your other cracks, though you throw it out there, but you save that one for the last one.
That's the joker of it.
That's the one that make everybody fall out.
Run it back. What'd you say?
Run it back, yeah. But yeah, well, it was fun times back then. But now, teachers' pets now, I don't think too many teachers right now can say they have pets in the classroom right now.
Absolutely not.
At the moment, I don't believe so.
Well, I think what's happening, a lot of the good kids, and I'm gonna say it just like that. I know y'all coming for me, but a lot of the good kids, they see these negative behaviors in the classroom, and they see that they're not getting acknowledged by the teachers. Well, let me show out too, because that's
what they're doing.
Yeah, because that's what that's what we see. That's what takes our attention is the bad behavior. So I think it's starting to rub off on the good kids.
Now, I have seen really good students. If they get caught up in something, I'm like, I know you're not doing this as well. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, everyone is peer pressure. Focused. Exactly. It's the peer pressure part. So, they don't want to be labeled as the lame of the group. But when I was going to school, being smart was the popular thing to be. Being in extracurricular activities. Being on the basketball team, being a cheerleader. Who got the best
lashes and lace front bodysuit.
Yeah, that's it now.
30-inch bust down. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. Nails.
Huh? What they call it? 30-inch bust down.
30-inch bust down.
But that's really getting on my nerves, man. Like, these kids in the classroom, I mean,
you can't
I don't know. I kind of blame parents a little bit. Parents be buying these kids all these brand new, fresh clothes and all this. I mean, the type of stuff these kids can't even afford.
Can't spell.
And can't read the first paragraph in a book. Mm-hmm. But you got your child. But my child look good, though. Look good doing what?
And that's what we do. So let's go back to talking about. I felt that, Coleman.
Yeah, man.
I felt that.
But yeah. But I've had students, that you kind of gravitate to a little bit, because you feel that they're more on about taking care of business in the classroom and getting things done.
And when those parents show up for the conferences, and it's always those children that do right for the parents, they be the first people to sign up for those conferences, or the children that are doing what they supposed to do, got the good grades, come to class, come to class on time, perfect attendance. They parents, they sign up for the conferences, but the other folks, other folks,
some of those parents I meet
can't get them to answer the phone.
When I meet them, I be like, well, explain the child now. Now I see what I'm dealing with now.
The apple don't fall too far from the tree.
No, it don't. And and they're pretty much treated. I think the way they treated it, they treat it like this. They do no wrong whatsoever, and like a lot of times, either my classroom, like some of the kids that will misbehave in my classroom, I would try to even bring them into as y'all call it, as a teacher's pet. Try to just like, I'm gonna try to use you, do a few things. Hey man, do this for me, do that.
And that's what they tell
and sometimes
you to
they
do.
enjoy that. Sometimes,
Right.
sometimes
Best
they want
practices.
Is
Yeah.
to give them a task.
So I'm trying to,
Yeah.
I try to bring them into that a little bit, versus trying to use other kids all the time. But sometimes they just almost cuss this thing. I catch myself, but sometimes they just mess it up. You know what to say, but it just mess it up. And then like, bruh, like you can't send them down the hallway. Oh, take this to the office.
Mm-hmm.
Now the walk from the classroom to the office was maybe what, no longer than 5 minutes.
Right.
After a while, I'm looking at this 15 minutes. They ain't back yet. I got to go out in the class. I got to walk around the hallway, see where they at. Oh, they down there in the classroom peeking at another one. They're trying to holler at some girl down there. Boy, bring your ass down here in this classroom and get back in here. What's wrong with you?
I mean, it's the truth.
Oh, right, my bad.
It's the,
be doing it in the house.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
dancing
But it's
and
the
everything.
truth.
It's the truth.
they
It is
down
the
there
truth.
peeking in the classroom, doing everything else. Like, bro, I tried, man. I tried to work with you, man. Look how you do, man. I had to put that little psychology thing on.
Yeah.
Man, I tried, man.
believed in you.
I just heard something in the spirit, man. Just use you, man, just to do this for you, man. I thought you gonna do it, man. You done messed up the universe now, man.
Yeah, you try to give them chances.
Yeah, you try, but I don't know. For some reason, kids are just young, and they just, I don't know. It's like they want to just get into things, just do things,
Mm-hmm.
So
And not to say that kids don't make mistakes, but again, just going back when those parents show up, I thank parents. Hey, woo, especially if a child is that kid, I'd be like, man, just thank you for sending this kid to school. It's
And even just calling, just to say, hey, your child did this right today. It shouldn't always be about something that they did wrong, which is what, with these best practices is to not always call when the kid is doing something wrong, but
Right.
to celebrate what the child is doing right. But like we were saying, I don't what episode we were talking about it on, but social media has gotten so massive now that the kids, some of them, are mimicking what they see. So you don't get that opportunity to say, okay, this child is actually a good student in class.
that's the parent.
And it's the parent. The social media is the parent.
Is the
now.
parent.
They are raising the kid. So it's a battle. There's no balance. I know for me coming up, it was the video vixen. That was the thing. Making sure that you don't watch the music videos because we don't want you to be like the girls in the rap video. But then you also had, the neo soul singers. You had a balance. And I feel like now you just don't have that balance anymore. There aren't age appropriate TV shows for kids anymore. And then parents aren't in the household like they used
And I
to
remember
be.
them shows used to come on at like later on that night.
Right.
You want to see it in the daytime like that.
Exactly.
Because I know I stayed there a lot of nights
It was-
waiting to see the booties and tatas.
BET Uncut.
Yeah.
That was late at night.
What?
after
What, Rap
After
City.
dark.
I used to love to see them.
after dark. What's that?
You see them things bouncing.
What they be doing? What
Okay,
now?
They be bouncing.
I thought it was doing an African
That's the
dance
way
or
on.
something.
Nah, I'm having an African that night. I'd be at night waiting on her. I just sneak back out of bed and turn TV on when my mom go to bed.
Well, for teachers that don't see, like I said, we know that nowadays it's challenging to see good behaviors in classroom. How do y'all think teachers can go about to see more of those type of behaviors that we talked about from our teacher pets?
I think most teachers now are just at the point now. It's like they try to get the ones they can get. It's kind of like a battlefield. Go out there and save who you can save. All the other fallen soldiers down. I couldn't get you, bro.
Gotta just keep moving.
It's too many rounds firing over here. I can't get you over there.
So what happened?
But the
to
ones I
those
get,
kids?
I'm gonna bring you on in, and they get who they can get right now. And a lot of them probably at the point right now they there for the check,
They are there for the check.
and let the kids do what they want to do.
That's
It
a
don't matter.
shame because a lot of the kids who actually want to come to school, they don't get to learn because the teacher is constantly dealing with 40 kids in the classroom. Well, okay, realistically, 35 kids in the classroom. It's like a battlefield. Like you're trying to wrangle in these students. You can't teach. You're spending 5 minutes. Well, you only have 5 minutes left to actually teach because the other 60 minutes, you're trying to get the class to be quiet. So it's like you're not getting help from, well, certain schools don't get help from admin. So it's like, what can you do? Just help the ones you can
help. A lot
help.
of schools don't get help from admin.
Right, yeah, they
and
don't.
it's a pity because we're talking about on a middle school level, but it's so many kids that acting a fool in elementary school. Like, how you in the first grade and acting a fool?
Getting arrested.
I can't, cause I've been on gonna snatch you and put you down.
Getting arrested in the 3rd grade.
My youngest student to have a baby was 10.
What?
Say what?
At 10 years old, had a baby. And whew, yeah. And now that one kind of made me emotional a little bit. That's probably the only time in my career where I really got emotional, when I was talking to her, and she was telling me about the baby. And I went over there because I want to, you know me, you ain't gonna sit there and just tell me some story and I ain't gonna check up on it. Ain't that right, Joy?
I know that's right.
That's a Google Queen right there. But I'm gonna go over there and check on it. I went over there. It was true. And I went outside. I broke down. I just broke down. So I'm like, well, where the daddy at? Well, y'all get this here. The daddy was 35 years old, impregnated a 10-year-old girl.
And he should be in jail beyond.
Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found.
What?
So I kind of went in a little bit. I ain't gonna say all I did. I just did my thing, whatever, to make sure that she was straight, because it was that thing. It hurt. And
that's a whole nother episode that we can dive in, because we know some of these kids come from some tragic situations. So that's a whole nother episode.
Oh my goodness, I know
dive
some stuff.
into me as well.
Yeah.
So, but for just to go back to the question, best practices teaches us that we call on students that are exhibiting these good behaviors, and if a child that's not exhibiting bad behavior, you want to call on and redirect that student. Are those practices still working for us to call on a student to get their attention, to redirect them, or call out a student that's doing what they're supposed to do, to show the positive outlook that you want to be exhibited in your classroom, that maybe the bad student or that's the right word. We want to use bad student.
But the gratification that the students are getting is from the social media. They don't care if you're calling out the good student in the classroom,
because they want to be on social media.
Social media. They want to be the influencer. That is the attention that they get from that. That is the gratification that they're looking for as a whole. But as far as like, if a teacher says, okay, little Johnny is doing what he's modeling, what I want him to do, them kids don't care about that. Let me get home and show you my new Balenciagas. Let me see how many likes I get on that. Let me show you how good I can twerk in this camera. That's my like. Wow. Let me see what the comments are saying. I don't care what the teacher is saying. Nobody care about that. Let me see how many TikTok followers I can get. Like he said, the social media is the parent. The social media is the ego booster for the child as a whole. If
teachers really want to survive in that classroom, you got to be a social media buff.
Yep.
To understand where those kids' minds are. And to go to your question, I've had some successful rate of reaching out to some of the bad kids, you call, and some of them have come out good. But that's because, and this is the only way that it works. It only works when you develop a relationship with them. And once you have that relationship with them and they can trust you and talk to you about anything, then you can pour into them,
right?
Whatever is needed to help them to get through life. And like I said, I still hear from students today, and they still tell me, Mr. Coleman, you told me a lot of things that helped me out, man. He says, all the stuff you were saying is really happening. I say, yeah, bro, you got to do the math, Well, at the time I was 38 and you're 16. 38 minus 16 is 22. So I'm 22 years ahead of you, sir. So, of course, I'm down the road that you about to come up on already. So I know what's going on already. So, but that's basically it.
When a student turns disrespectful to me, Like I just have
I don't see you anymore.
Yeah, that's it.
I still interact with you, of course, if you need
Because
help
I'm your
with
teacher.
something. Because
But once you turn
I'm done.
disrespectful, the whole
Done.
once you turn disrespectful, that sours the whole relationship.
Disrespect is I can't do it.
Can't do disrespect.
And a lot of people in the comments are going to say, "Oh, well, that's childish. You have to."
Well, you can call it what you want.
I'm done. I can take a child that's labeled bad.
Cause y'all don't know.
Once you start getting out of a child's place, I can help you with your work. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I still make sure that you're safe. But as far done, don't put your paper here and then going out the door.
Let me tell you something. I've been so frustrated with students in the classroom. They like the disrespectful ones.
Mm-hmm.
I used to ask the question all the time. Why you even bother coming here?
Right.
That's what I'm telling y'all.
What you coming for?
To keep you at the house.
You come in every day, man, disrupt the whole classroom. Everybody is focused on you. I can't even teach because you're doing something stupid back there. Why even bother coming? So after I get so mad, I give them a paper. Here's your assignment. Man, just go on where you want to go at. And I don't care if parents hear it or not, because some parents I don't talk to and I don't told them about the child, and you still not doing nothing about it. And then come to find out the child running them. Right. So I have no choice but to just put you out there. You can leave the school campus for all I care.
The kids do not want to do the work, and I have had that same conversation. And why you didn't tell your mother or your parents to let you stay at home? And you know what they tell me? They sent me. I told her I didn't want to come. They don't want to be bothered with you.
Some of them send their kid because they want their time at home.
Yeah, they need a break from the child.
I ain't gonna go no further than that. I was almost rolled in on that part of the conversation now, but I'm gonna come on back this way.
The same way I tell parents that they're doing a great job, because you know that the parents are doing a great job because their kids come and do what they're supposed to do. It's no reason why a child should be coming to school, if you raise them correctly, should be coming to school and acting a fool. And I always tell my students, you are making your parents look bad because you are a representation of them. So if you're coming to school acting a fool, that means your mama and dad ain't did what they supposed to do with you, because you mean to tell me you can't come in here and do what you're supposed to do and get what you need. And I call parents and tell them when their students acting a fool. I had one parent to tell me what the teacher say. Or ask me what the teacher say to the child.
I've had parents thank me for dealing with their child. Miss Colton, please take my child with you.
Oh yeah.
I don't want your kid, man. Your kid has to go back home with. I mean, you know what you're dealing with, but please take my child. No, and I'm trying my best that I can to bring your child into the good behaviors of other students. But right now, that's just not what your child wants.
Right.
You don't want that.
It's a battle every single day.
It is.
And nobody has time for that, because at the end of the day, what do we have? Data talks. We have meetings. We have to grow the student. Those are a part of our job description. We have to make sure the students are safe, make sure that they are growing with their social, emotional ability, making sure that they are on track with that. So no, I don't have time to deal with a child that's disrespectful every single day.
At all.
Every single day. Why are they still in the classroom? And I've had those comments, well, you know, even with your situation, Mr. Coleman, oh, he could have asked for help. What, you think we haven't asked for help at this point? You think we haven't put little Tim out the classroom multiple times and he came back with a snack?
And a juice. They're going to come back with a chip and coke.
And they got to remember, teachers are there. We're there to try to help change the world, change our future.
That's right.
With these children. We're not there. I don't think one teacher comes in trying to tear down a child. I just don't believe that. You know, and I think over a period of time, after dealing with so many different situations with students, they begin to lose focus a little bit. But I don't think as coming into the teaching field, they're not trying to tear down your child. They're trying to build your child up. And I don't understand why most parents won't trust that sometimes.
And listen to those phone calls when they come home. I don't even think, sometimes I think it's gotten to the point where teachers are just tired of calling home as well.
That was me. I stopped calling.
Oh yeah.
Miss Cole, why you call me?
For what?
For what?
I called you twice already. I'm getting the same itch that I'm getting right now when they come in this classroom.
But listen, those good kids, but now when they, like, to piggyback off what George said, when those kids that you know do right for a better part of the time they're at school. And when they start looking at other kids trip out and they start want to take on those behaviors, I had a student. He thought he was gonna do that. His mama pulled up. I called her on a Wednesday.
Mhm.
She pulled up on the Thursday because he didn't turn in no homework. So she pulled up.
I had one mother I really appreciated. I called and told her, and I didn't think she could do nothing about the bad. It was her son. Son was cutting up bad, and she popped up to the school and was peeking through the door, watching the classroom. I ain't know she was at the door, and I'm in there just ranting and raving going on. I didn't know she was there, but she seen her son, came in and wore his ass out right there in the classroom. And you think I?
There you go.
And we're going to talk about that on one of the next episodes because I don't think that parents are pulling up like they used to.
No, they are not.
Pull up on me.
I wish I would cut up in school, be missing teeth in front of the classroom. But see, now the parents are afraid of the student, the child.
Mm-hmm.
Because the kids
They definitely scared of them.
Parents, please.
They definitely scared of them. They trying to be friends. They going to get the same lace front.
Well, on that note, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Real Teachers of Atlanta. Special thank you to Mr. Coleman. Woo, woo.
Y'all cut your stuff out.
Make sure that you follow us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. And we are out.
Bye. I was trying to hold that laugh with the lace front.
We all on camera, right?
Yeah.
I'm so done.
Hey, if you enjoyed our show today and would like to see more content like this, make sure you follow and like our YouTube channel at Real Teachers of Atlanta.
We got the queens in the house, y'all.